Hello students, welcome to the video class for the subject switchgear and protective device. This is for 6th semester diploma electrical engineering students. So today's topic is bus bar arrangement. So in bus bar arrangement we will study three types of arrangement under this bus bar arrangement. Three types of techniques. Basically three types of arrangement we will study, that is single bus bar system, then single bus bar system with sectionalization, then duplicate bus bar system. So why the need of this bus bar arrangement? See, first of all, what is this? We have to know what is this bus bar. So bus bar is a copper rod or a thin walled tube and operate at constant voltage. Okay, so bus bar always remain at constant voltage. So when number of generators or feeders operating at the same voltage have to be directly connected electrically, and they are directly connected with a common electrical component that is known as bus bar. Clearly understood? So what is bus bar? Bus bar is a common electrical component to which number of generator or feeder operating at same voltage have to be directly connected. Okay, so come to the arrangements. So this is the single bus bar system arrangement. In single bus bar system arrangement, see, there is one single bus. This is your one single bus. It is maintained at a constant voltage. So these two are the two number of generators are here, and three number of feeders are connected to this bus bar. So whatever voltage from these two generators and voltage fed to these three feeders, both are equal, and they both have the voltage level which value is for this bus bar. So this bus bar have a constant voltage. So when these two generators and these three feeders have the same amount of voltage level, then these two number of generator and these three number of feeders are connected at a common equipment. Clear? So see, in this is one type of, for example, this is one type of power station. Okay, so the generator and the outgoing lines and the transformers are connected to the bus bar. Each generator and feeder is controlled by a circuit breaker. This is the circuit breaker and this is the isolator. Okay, so what is the advantages of this type of arrangement? See, here less maintenance, this require less maintenance and it is simple in operation. Okay, but what are the disadvantages for this type of arrangement? The disadvantages are the bus bar cannot be cleaned, repaired or tested without de-energizing the whole system. So if fault occur on the bus bar itself, then there is complete interruption of supply. Okay, so any fault on the system is fed by all the generating capacity, resulting in very large current. Clear? Now next type of arrangement is single bus bar system with sectionalization. So in large generating stations where several units are installed, it is a common practice to sectionalize the bus so that fault on any section of the bus bar will not cause complete shutdown. So come to the diagram part. So see, this is the single bus bar system with sectionalization. So it is a large system where number of generators, number of feeders are connected. So this is one part and this is another part. So here see, this is one single bus bar and we have to sectionalize this with the help of circuit breaker and isolator. So now here what are the arrangements? See, these two are the generators connected through circuit breaker, isolator. Here also generator connected through circuit breaker and isolator, and these two are the feeders connected through circuit breaker and isolator. They all are connected to this common equipment. This is the bus bar, and the same thing happened here. So what are the perspective of this single bus bar system with sectionalization. See, uh, here the bus bar divided into two sections connected by a circuit breaker and isolator, and three principal advantages are there for this arrangement. What are those? Firstly, if a fault occur on any system of the bus bar, that section can be isolated without affecting the supply to the other section. Okay. See, see if fault occur in this bus bar, then we can isolate this section, and at the same time there is no interruption in this section, so we have complete power supply without any interruption at this section. And same way, if there is any fault in this bus bar, we can isolate this system, but here there is no interruption of supply. Okay. And what is the second advantages? See, if a fault occur on any feeder, the fault current is much lower than with unsectionalized bus bar. Okay, so this permits the use of circuit breaker of lower capacity in the feeder. And thirdly, repair and maintenance of any section of the bus bar can be carried out by de-energizing that section only and eliminating the possibility of complete shutdown. So this is the advantages of single bus bar system with sectionalization. Then duplicate bus bar system. So this is your duplicate bus bar system. See, this diagram is the duplicate bus bar system. Here there is one main bus bar and another one is the duplicate bus bar, or it is also called as pair bus bar. So this is the connection of two generators, then these two are the feeders, and these two bus bars can be connected through this bus coupler. Okay, this is the bus coupler which correlate this main bus bar and spare bus bar. So what happens in this arrangement? See, in latch station it is important that breakdown and maintenance should interfere as little as possible with continuity of supply. So in order to achieve this objective, duplicate bus bar system is used. Okay, so such a system consists of two bus bar, that is I told you main bus bar and spare bus bar. Okay, so each generator and feeder may be connected to either bus bar with the help of bus coupler. I told you bus coupler, so which consists of a circuit breaker and isolator. So what happens here? See, during switchover from one bus to other, if it were desired to switch a circuit from one to another without interruption of service, there would have to be two circuit breaker per circuit. Such an arrangement will be too expensive. See how it will work. See, when we connect to the main bus bar, then this isolator is closed and this isolator is closed. So now this generating station connected to the main bus bar, this also connected to the main bus bar, and this isolator should close, this isolator should close, this also close, this also close. Now these two feeder are also connected to the main bus bar. So when we want to switch any of system to another bus bar for maintenance or any interruption, then what we do? Through this bus coupler. Okay, so through this bus coupler, first we have to connect these two isolator, and then we have to disconnect all these from the main bus bar, and we have to connect this isolator to the spare bus bar. Okay, so first we have to close this bus coupler, and then we have to switch from main to spare bus bar. So this is all about your this is all about your duplicate bus bar system. Clearly understood about this? Then next come to what is the advantages of this. So advantages is that if repair and maintenance is to be carried out to the main bus, then the supply need not to be interrupted, as the entire load can be transferred to the spare bus. The testing of feeder circuit breaker can be done by putting them on spare bus bar, thus keeping the main bus bar undisturbed. If a fault occurs on the bus bar, the continuity of supply to the circuit can be maintained by transferring it to the other bus bar. So these are all are the advantages of duplicate bus bar system. Then switchgear accommodation. See, switchgear accommodation means the main components of switchgear are circuit breakers, switches, bus bar, instruments, instrument transformers. So accommodation means where we have to settle or install all these components. Okay, so depending upon the voltage to be handled, the switchgear may be classified into the switchgear accommodation may be classified into outdoor type and indoor type. Okay, so the outdoor type means for the voltage beyond 66 kV, the switchgear component or equipment is installed outdoor. Okay, so this is the just the layout diagram for outdoor type system. And for the voltage below 66 kV, the switchgear is generally installed indoor because of economic consideration. And see, the indoor switchgear is generally of metal clad type. Okay, so in this type of construction, all live parts are completely enclosed in an earthed metal casing. Okay, so this is all about switchgear accommodation. Then the next is the short circuit. So I already discussed about this in your online class. What is this short circuit? That means when a fault occurs on a network such that a large current flow in one or more phases. That means short circuit have to be occurred. So consider this circuit. There is in this circuit, see, when short circuit occurs, a heavy current called short circuit current flows through the circuit. So this we can clearly understood through this circuit. So in this circuit there is a single phase generator of voltage B. This has internal impedance Zi and it is connected to the load whose impedance is Z. So in this case, when this generator is connected to this load, current flowing through this circuit is I. So I can write I is equal to V by Z. So here this current is completely controlled by this load impedance. But when short circuit occurs across this load, then this load is cut off at this time. When short circuit occurs, there is a huge amount of current flowing through this circuit. That current is now notified as ISC. Now here, if load is cut off, then ISC is equal to V by C. Here the internal impedance for the generator is Zi. So now the current is controlled by Zi. But here the Zi is very small in amount. It is nearly equal to 0 or it is very negligible. So if this is nearly equal to 0, then the overall term is now tends to infinite. That means your current abnormally rises towards infinity. Okay, so now you clearly understood about the short circuit. That means large amount of current flow through the circuit when short circuit occurred. So now we distinguish between short circuit and overload. See, when short circuit happen, I can write V is equal to C. V is equal to, normally V is equal to what? So in normal condition V is equal to I into Z. But when short circuit occur, V is equal to I SC into ZI, because when short circuit occurs, this load is cut off. So if load is cut off, there is no load impedance, and in this circuit there is only this internal impedance, which is very negligible. So if negligible, or you can say it is 0. If this term is 0, then this overall term is 0 into something is 0. Now here voltage is now the voltage is 0. So when short circuit occurs, voltage at fault point is reduced to 0 and current is abnormally high in magnitude, flows through the circuit, okay, to the point of fault. So now we understood about overload. Overload means the loads greater than the designed value have been imposed on the system. So under such condition, the voltage at the overload point may be low but not zero. Okay, so now you clearly understood about the overload and short circuit, and the under voltage condition may be extend for some distance beyond the overload point into the remainder system. Okay, the currents in the overloads equipment are high, but the voltage is very low. It is not zero, but it is very low. Okay, so causes of short circuit. Now we study about the causes of short circuit. So the causes may be internal and external effect. So what are the internal effects? See here, internal effects are caused by breakdown of equipment or transmission line, from deterioration of insulation in a generator or transformer, etc. Such troubles may be due to aging of insulation, inadequate design, or improper installation. And external effect, what are the external effect causing short circuit? Including insulation failure due to lighting surge, overloading of equipment causing excessive heating, mechanical damage by public, etc. Okay, so these are the internal and external effects. So these are the cause of short circuit. So what are the effect of short circuit? That means after happening of short circuit, what are the effect? What is happening after occurrence of short circuit? So see, when short circuit occurs, the current in the system increases to an abnormally high value, while the system voltage decreases to a low value. So what happens? See, the heavy current due to short circuit causes excessive heating, which may result in fire or explosion. Sometimes short circuit takes the form of an arc and causes considerable damage to the system. So example is an arc on a transmission line not cleared quickly. If not cleared quickly, will burn the conductor severely, causing it to break, resulting in long time interruption of the line. So similarly, the low voltage created by the fault has a very harmful effect on the service rendered by power system. So if voltage remains low for even a few seconds, then the consumer motor may be shut down and generator on the power system may become unstable. So these are the effect of short circuit. So in next class we will discuss about short circuit current and different types of faults in power system, then calculation of faults in power system, etc. Okay, thank you.